Lots of things all around us, exciting things that surround us.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Things that go up, things that go down, things that go pop, things that go round. With special cameras to show you inside. It's going to be a big surprise.
But how does it work?
Do you know?
How is it made?
Do you know? Do you know?
Let's find out!
Hi, I'm Maddie, and today I'm visiting a city. What do you like about visiting towns and cities? My favourite thing is to look at all the different buildings. You can see old buildings, new buildings, and even buildings that aren't finished yet. But my favourite type of buildings are very tall and reach high into the sky, just like this one. It's called a skyscraper. But how do you build a skyscraper that's really tall and strong enough so that it doesn't blow over in the wind? Do you know how skyscrapers are made? Let's find out. How is it made?
Skyscraper.
Take a look. Can you see that building over there that's still being built? That is going to be a skyscraper. But to find out how a skyscraper is built to be safe and stable, I think we need to take a closer look. At a skyscraper construction site. You should never go on any sort of construction site or building site, but today I've got special permission to have a look around. Right now I'm at the bottom of the building and I'm standing on the concrete ground floor. But there's much more to this skyscraper that we can't see. And that's everything that is underground. We call that the building's foundations. The foundations are the most important part of any building. Car parks, sports stadiums, and even a house or block of flats has foundations. The foundations of this skyscraper are made up of lots of things called piles and a thick layer of concrete. But to explain why the foundations are so important, today I've got a model of a tall building and this bucket of soil. First, deep holes are drilled into the ground, so when the piles go in, they can be held really tightly inside the earth. And the piles act a little bit like the roots of a tree, keeping that building rooted down. And this piece of wood represents the concrete that goes on top of the piles and gives our skyscraper a solid, stable base to sit on. But now our foundations are complete, so that when we put the building on top, everything is much sturdier. This skyscraper has 88 piles, but they're already underneath the building in the ground. But how do they make the levels on top? To find out, I'm taking a ride in this special lift called a hoist. You can see the levels as we go up in the hoist. Level number 12. Time to get off. We're already so high up and we're nowhere near the top yet. Can you see, the whole floor is made of concrete. But hidden inside the concrete there are lots and lots of steel rods, just like this. And steel is a really strong metal, so when you hide this inside the concrete, you get a super strong floor. Can you see the columns? They are made of concrete and steel too, and hold up each level of the building. This level has already been built, but it's helping the level above. All of this metal scaffolding is holding up the wooden frame above my head, and we call this the formwork. But that wooden frame will act as a mould for the floor upstairs. This is as high as we can go, and this level hasn't finished being made yet. And look, neither has the concrete floor. When concrete is delivered to a construction site, it's runny, a little bit like porridge.
It arrives in a truck called a cement mixer and is pumped up big pipes all the way to the top of the building to fill the moulds, which are left to dry and become solid.
Another really important part of a skyscraper is the core, and this is it behind me right now. The core goes all the way from the bottom all the way to the very top level of the building. And it's a little bit like the skyscraper's backbone, and it is very strong. We are so high up, and the view all around me is amazing. So I've got my special 360-degree camera with me so that you can see all around too. Here goes.
Wow, look how tall that core is. Can you see all the steel rods coming out the top of the columns? They look like candles on top of a birthday cake.
What an incredible structure. Just think how brilliant the view's going to be from the very top when it's finished. I loved finding out how skyscrapers are made. What was your favourite bit?
Can you remember the name of the bits of concrete and steel that hold up the next floor? That's right, they're called columns. Did you hear the sound the lift made when it took us up to the 12th floor? And did you see how we could look all around the top of the skyscraper using my special 360-degree camera?
I love how skyscrapers reach high up into the sky. What else is high in the sky? Let's take a look.
Can you see those white fluffy things? Do you know what they're called?
That's right, they're clouds. What else can we see? Oh, there's a bird. But do you know how a bird flies? How does it work? Let's find out. How does it work?
Birds.
To find out how birds fly, I've come to a bird centre. There are lots of different types or species of bird here, and they've all been looked after since they hatched from eggs. Do you have a favourite species of bird? This species is a bald eagle. And that is a white-backed vulture. And these are kites.
You can see birds in lots of places, like pigeons in towns and cities, or blackbirds in a park or garden.
But my favourite birds are owls, and this is a baby great grey owl. But we're going to be meeting some others today too. James looks after the birds here at the centre, and with him we have Ollie. Ollie is an 8-week-old barn owl. You're right. Ollie's been trained to fly here at the centre and come back to James. Would you like to see Ollie fly? OK, let's go. Look at Ollie go! Isn't it graceful?
But how does he fly?
Our human bodies allow us to walk, run, swim. We've got hands so that we can hold things. Well, a bird's body allows it to fly. Birds are really light, and that's partly because the bones are full of gas, a little bit like sponge, and that makes their bones really lightweight. And a bird's body is streamlined. That means it's shaped in a way that helps it to move through the air, a little bit like a plane. Can you see the thinnest parts are at the front and the back? If we look at this model of a bird, can you see? It's also thinner at the front and the back by its beak and its tail. So this streamlined shape helps them to move through the air. But the most important part of a bird's body that helps it to fly are its wings. Shall we flap our arms like they're wings? Go on, flap.
Can you do it? So we can flap our arms, but we don't fly. So how does a bird like Ollie flap its wings so that it can? To find out, I think we need to take a closer look.
When a bird takes off, it pushes through its legs and lifts up its wings, spreading them outwards. As it jumps up, the bird quickly pushes its wings down. This is called flapping. And when it pushes the air underneath the wings down, it makes an upwards force. Bird wings are flat underneath and curved on top. This shape makes the air pass faster above the wing and slower underneath, which creates a force that is called lift. To fly forwards, the bird flaps its wings, moving air down and backwards to make another force called thrust. Flapping uses lots of energy, so the bird has big lungs to help them breathe and strong muscles to keep their wings moving. Because of its streamlined body shape, when the bird has enough speed, it can glide for a while without flapping its wings. To land, the bird stops flapping and spreads its wings out wide and tilts them backwards. This creates a force called drag that slows them down. Then all the bird has to do is put its legs out, ready to land.
The way birds fly is really interesting, isn't it? But now we know how they fly, I reckon we should see Ollie the owl in action again. Here goes Ollie. He's flapping his wings, and then a moment of gliding. And Ollie's landed. But everything happened so quickly. I think we should use one of my special cameras to slow things down. This is my special slow motion camera, and this will let us film Ollie flying really quickly, but then we can watch it back and see things happening much slower. Take it away, James. You can see how Ollie is using his legs to push himself off the perch. And now he's flapping his wings to force the air down, which will lift him up. And there he goes.
And remember, that force is called lift.
Oh, look, Ollie's gliding now, and he can do that because of the streamlined shape of his body.
Can you see the shape of his wings? The air is moving around them to help keep him up in the air.
The bigger the bird's wings are, the better they are at gliding, and Ollie's wings are pretty big, so look at him go. And now Ollie's getting ready to land. He's spreading out his wings, which creates that drag force to slow him down. And there you go, a perfect landing. Learning how a bird flies was really interesting, wasn't it? What was your favourite part?
Can you remember the word we used to describe the shape of a bird's body? That's right, we call it streamlined, just like an aeroplane. Did you hear the sound that Ollie the owl made? And on my special camera, did you see how Ollie flapped his wings to create lift and take off?
So the next time you see a skyscraper, you'll know how it was built. And when you see a bird like Ollie high in the sky, you'll know how it flies. I know. We'll see you next time.
There are lots of things